Hey everyone, welcome to Valrex Gaming. We're going to do a quick video today on the best suggestions I think that exist in the Polytopia Discord, where people are free to openly suggest game suggestions directly to the developer. I think it's a great system, and Mijuan is really good and in touch, I think, with the community. He's part of it and he plays with us. Anyways, I was shooting a combat guide and had a huge hiccup, so that's not going to come out for a bit. So let's go into some amazing suggestions that I love in Discord. My number one suggestion in Discord, and the one that I think should happen first, the one that I would look the most forward to, second place is a close second, but the first one is co-op mode or teams. There needs to be an actual native teams game in Polytopia, because there are so many ways for synergy and teamwork and people to work together in this game, and it's a shoo-in for competitive gaming, expanding the different ways for, I mean, it already happens in competitive games because they have a 2v2, but now the in-system, like the in-game ELO system, doesn't apply because now they have to lose. One of them has to lose to win. There are different strategies and ways to work around it, but I think if there was a hard lock team game system, that would make things far more interesting, especially for someone like me who likes to play with friends, and we love team games too. And when it's always a free-for-all, it always devolves into everybody against me, usually, or whoever is in the lead gets ganged up on. Everybody else just allies together and takes on the person who is the strongest. It is only natural that would happen, but if there's a hard lock teams, that resolves that problem. Having teams also being able to lock in on just regular online games, it's just a different way to play. And I think it would be a great way for helping new players get more accustomed to the game as well, because they can team up with other people, especially in like an open style, like unranked, gameplay. So co-op, I hope it would be easier to program than not, but I'm not a developer, so I can't speak to that. But I think that's my top number one wish list item is co-op. Because it's what I find myself wishing we could do all the time. My next favorite one is custom map maker. You can see there is one here with, let's see, mark this red, 693 stars. It is huge. A lot of people want this one, and it does exist as a mod. There's another Discord server called Polytopia Modding and Sprites, but it's not officially sanctioned by Mijuan. And they've just figured out how, and it turns out this server is dead, so there's actually Polytopia modding over here. It's not native, it's not there with everyone. I grew up being used to custom map maker in strategy games. It just, if you're gonna have a game that has strategy and a board, having control over the board makes sense because you can make new maps. In fact, for a lot of strategy games, it's a way for their content to live longer than the game itself, like Age of Empires 2 and Star Wars Galactic Battlegrounds. People just continue to make maps for them and play them. I remember way back in the day that it was a huge thing where people could make custom program maps, but that's because Age of Empires could have really deep programming. Polytopia doesn't have to be that deep. Having control over the tiles, everybody wants to play on an actual globe map. You have the Americas and the continents of Asia, Europe, Oceania. How cool would that be? Or having a map that is almost like the battlefield like you see in Super Smash Brothers, where the default competitive map, is always like the 3 platforms and 2. There could be a competitive map because you are now able to control the RNG, right? Like the RNG is out of the question now. Now you have people who will spawn in the same spot, have access to the same resources. It's just a suggestion, but it would be huge for people who are currently in the game to have a way to control the map natively. And heck, maybe it's only a PC thing because it's easier to program for PC than it is for mobile. Fine, we'll deal with it. How cool would that be to create your own maps and then share them with your friends? Every map has a seed number, which means that every map could hypothetically exist, right? And so you're creating the specific seed for that map. My number 3 most favorite game suggestion is a campaign or a story mode. And we actually kind of got that with the weekly challenges, but you can only play that once a day. And the other like story mode would just be playing like perfection with all the tribes, because that was the way the game was originally intended, to have just all the tribes on the map and you play against them all, and there you go. There's no like story behind that, and there's actually quite a bit of Polytopia lore in the game. If you actually go look on like the wiki and read just the stuff about the tribes, it goes deeper story-wise, and a campaign mode could help flesh out some of those more fine details, as well as help newcomers really start to take more baby steps as they increase their knowledge of how the game works. And it doesn't have to be a crazy long campaign. It could be like a special game for each tribe, but it's the same one every time, and people will always have access to it and can always play it. And honestly, it doesn't even have to have a story behind it. I think that you have a game where there's just very specific objectives that serve as like a learning track, not just a single tutorial mode, but a way to show people like each of the different technologies. Maybe there's one that people don't really bother with all that much, like philosophy, starting people off with something like that. I think that it would be a very good way to help introduce people to the game. You know, that's kind of how the way I'm approaching this, right? A lot of my suggestions are for people who are new to the game, because I love to share this game with people. Everyone that I meet, I'm sharing this game with them, and I want them to be able to learn it and feel like they have a good grasp on it, so that they want to join the multiplayer games that we're doing. And that's the basic gist of it. And these things will help newcomers grasp the game better. And honestly, if we're talking about updates to the game, the thing that makes Midgewan the most money as a company is skins and new tribes. They're probably not going to release a new tribe for a while. There's plenty of suggestions on new ones, and plenty of interesting ones. The one the next one's a shoe-in is the Ancients, because they've been teased before. But I don't know how hard that is to introduce. They just have special effects, and you have to program all those and how they interact with all the other tribes and all the other effects and stuff. It's kind of a hassle. Skins, there's a really fast way to make money, and that's why we're probably just going to continue to see. We're probably going to see a skin for Semanti and Polaris come out before we see any huge substantial updates, because that's what makes the company money. It's easy money. But these other bigger, deep cut changes to the game, I think, will make it a lot more fun, and hopefully people will really appreciate them and will get more newcomers into the game. My last little bonus game suggestion was the balancing update that was suggested by Justini Linguini. His channel is doing awesome here on YouTube, but he suggested doing buffs and nerfs controlling the meta for what tribes are, where they are, with just how much starting stars they have. And I think that's an incredibly simplistic, great, easily implemented way to balance tribes. It'll make people want to play the tribes that nobody wants to play anymore, like Aimo or Luxador. Really cool tribes. I mean, I love the Almux skin for Luxador. It's probably one of my number 1 favorite skins, but good luck playing them against any of the T0 tribes or against Semanti. Yeah, that would be an awesome one to see implemented. Let me know down in the comments what you think are your most interesting Discord suggestions. And go ahead and join the Discord. I'll put the link down in the description, and you can talk with other players. You can ask questions. You can put in your opinion. You can go vote with stars for your own favorite suggestions. It's really a fantastic community to be a part of. So we're doing Polytopia videos every Monday. So check back next Monday. We're gonna have an awesome gameplay that I'm gonna try and do some things to shake up the way Polytopia videos are done here on YouTube as far as gameplay. we're going to try something new. So check back and we'll see you next week.